Am I streaming? Okay, there we go. All right. Perfect. Okay. Live stream time. We are reacting to the top 16 deck lists that just came out from EU Nats. A lot of interesting stuff. I took a quick look at the list, just kind of like scrolled through it. Mostly Gabu decks, to be expected. But surprisingly, I think there's like 3 Diaboromon decks, which I think is really, really interesting. Didn't expect the deck to show up so much, but it did. So either that means a lot of people are playing it, or the deck is like legit, like super legit. So let's look at the list. We'll start in order here. We'll throw these into .dev, be easier to see. Deck builder, import, paste. Shoop. All right, so let's see, full cards, level sort. So this is Justimon. It says first here. I don't know if that means first place or if it's like in any particular order. So I'm just gonna assume this was first after top cut. I don't know. I couldn't find any information on it either way. So let's go full screen. Level sort. 2 Monodramon, 4 Huckmon, 2 EX Biomon. This is pretty interesting. This is the when attacking the player draw one. So this is different from the promo Biomon, which is when you delete a Digimon in battle, draw one, but it's not once per turn, or the starter deck Guiomon, which he also plays 4 of, and this is when your opponent's Digimon is deleted, triggered, draw one once per turn. So really indexing on the draws, choosing the EX Biomon over the promo Biomon. 3 Blancs and I believe 3 Noirs, so 6 Sisters. I think that's on the lower end of Sisters. Most people are usually running 7 or 8, but I think 6 is fair because it lets you tech in a few more stuff. Including this person is running the 1 Aguni and the 1 Monochromon with the 1 Quadramon. So splitting his blockers into one of the 5k and one of the 6k. I think that's interesting choice. I think blockers are really whatever this format. However, having said that, sometimes if you just don't run blockers, you just get donked by some like random rogue deck where you're like, damn, if I had any blocker in my hand, I could live this turn and then kill them next turn. So I've definitely been in that situation. I'm sure like everyone else has too. So I'm not really mad about the blockers in here. 3 Bow Hucks. A lot of people drop this one. Out of all the Hucks, this is the one people tend to drop one of to make room for other stuff. 4 Grays, standard. The 1 Volkdramon to help not brick. I think that's fine. A lot of people play 1 or 2 Volkdramons just to help out their level 5 ratios if they don't just want to rely on seeing the 4 saviors to literally save them from just bricking into a loss. 4 Jess, only 1 Omni. I think that's fine. Lowers brick potential because I'm sure seeing 2 Omnis in your hand with no saviors or no Jesses is just the worst. 1 Gravity Crush, I think that's pretty sick. Gravity Crush is a card which I think is pretty clutch right now. Helps you play through ice walls, helps you surprise your opponent with a Goonie for game, helps you have memory when your opponent wasn't expecting it, and oftentimes in Justimon, you're going to kill them on the turn you Gravity Crush, so the end of the turn passing them 2 more memory is probably not going to matter. 1 Plan, 2 Blade, 2 red memory boost and 2 analog youth. I still think that analog youth is probably a better overall card because since it mills and you don't really care if your sisters go to trash or not, since Justimon can retrieve them from trash, essentially if you analog boy and you hit, let's say, a Huck, a sister, and like 1 random other card, if you add the Huck to hand and then sister to trash, that's almost like you hit 2 cards instead of 1. So I think that's pretty interesting value off of analog. I don't really know if you use the memory gain effect too much in this deck, unless like you swing with the Jess and it dies and then you can trigger your analog youth that way, I guess, but that's kind of like a worst case scenario type deal. I don't know. Usually if you're swinging with Jess, you're just trying to win. So this probably doesn't really come up. And the one program halt, remember I was talking about this card like a video or two ago with Justimon. I think this card is good in this deck. You probably can only manage to fit one considering the space constraints of the deck, but this guy managed to make it work. So let's see, overall we're looking at 15 level 3s, 14 level 4s, so we discount the 3 sisters in each one, so it's 12 level 3s, 10 level 4s, 5 level 5s, 4 level 6s, 1 level 7, 7 options, and 5 tamers. Alright, I think that's pretty reasonable for a Justimon deck. I think this guy probably just high rolled his way to victory, as Justimons mostly do, and this guy found a way to just make it work throughout the day. So congrats to him, Mr. MCO. Alright, moving on to the first of many Gabus. Goodbye. Paste. There. Okay. Level sort. 4 Upas, 1 Dami standard. Let's look at his Gabu lineup. 4 EX1s, 4 BT6s, 3 Drabus, 2 promo Gabus. So normally we're gonna see 4 of this, 4 of this, and 4 of this, and then none of the promos. That's probably just from scanning the list. That's what I saw most common. This guy took out a Drabu and then put in 2 more promo Gabus for 13 total Gabumons. I think that's fine. I don't particularly like this card, as I mentioned in my bond ratios video, but you can make it work. 1 Strawby, 2 Madokis. This is pretty standard. 3 Lobos, 2 Kendos, 2 Octos, 3 Ikakumon from EX1. I don't know why this is the Japanese text, but essentially what this card reads is that it can attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon with no Digivolution sources. So this card pretty much donks hard-played Gazimons, Terriermons, Chumons, Madoki Betamons in the mirror. It donks Deputymon. It'll donk any random level 3 your opponent just happens to leave out. I think this card has a lot of value right now, and people are apparently clearly aware of it, but if you're not, then you should be. EX1 Ikakumon, good card, consider running it. For friendships, 2 Absolute Blast. I think this is a pretty interesting choice, considering it is probably out of all the removals you could be running in blue the most conditional, but it does have probably the second highest upside over, like, right behind Rattlestar. So Rattlestar, they have to have 3, and then you can bot deck anything. This one, you can bot deck anything with no source, and it strips 1 source. So basically you can bot deck anything with 1 source or less. Really good, I feel, in the Musketeers matchup, since you can basically bot deck their Bielstar Mons and their Zwart defeats, which is a very strong out to those cards. Since putting Bielstar back in their hand, they just get to use it again, or if you somehow manage to send it to their trash, like, they can just recycle it with an Intmon or something. So setting to the bottom of the deck is the best form of removal against Bielstar decks. Howling Memory Boost, 2 of. I think this is pretty standard in pretty much every bond deck. This card is actually, like, insane to, like, get the freeze off, and then the trashing 2 sources can help combo with Absolute Blast or Ikakumon, so I think that's worthwhile inclusion. 1 Rattlestar, so this guy really indexed into removal with the 1 Rattlestar. Let's see, he did it by taking out 2 Hammer Sparks, so that's an interesting choice. 4 Ice Walls, 1 Blue Memory Boost, should probably be an Analog Boy, 3 Davis, 4 Matt, and he ran a Sora and Joe. Again, I think to help supplement his use of Absolute Blast, which I think is fine. I think Absolute Blast, if you index into more Source Strip, then it's probably going to be your strongest removal option. So I think decks that do that are going to have a lot of success, and this is the highest Gabumon deck in the list, so he probably made good use of that. Something to keep in mind. Alright, moving on. The first Diaboromon deck we're going to see. Pretty excited about looking at this. Import. Paste. Okay. Alright, so let's level sort. Okay. So 4 of the plus 2000 Sunamon instead of the draw Sunamon. Already off the bat, I think that's an interesting choice. I know a lot of people prefer the draw card so you can see your pieces, but I guess this guy values the plus 2000, and I do think that does give you an out to what I've seen to be a pretty like hard floodgate to this deck, which is he actually plays it, is the 2 Mechanorimon. Mechanorimon walls Diaboromon tokens since they're only, I believe they're only 3000 attack. Let's see if I can find a text. Yeah, 3000 DP. So this card, if they don't see Gewaltschwarmer, which is their only like consistent removal for Mechanorimon, then it's just gonna wall them. Like they could have a million tokens on the board, but one Mechanori is gonna just say no. So I think for the mirror, if you're Diaboromon mirror, I think Mechanori has high value, especially since you're in black anyways. And I think if you are expecting people to be playing Diaboromon, which based on the results of this EU Nationals, then you clearly should be, Mechanorimon goes up in value by a lot. So definitely the best blocker in the meta right now. In any color, in any deck, you can probably find space for 1 or 2 Mechanorimons, and you'll probably see some good value out of it. Moving on from there, we have the BT2 Caramon, inheritable, draw 1 when you play another Digimon that has the same name, not once per turn. So obviously, like you use this with Diaboromon tokens to draw every time you spam tokens. So that makes sense. 2 Chumons makes sense. 4 BT5 Caramon. This is pretty much the deck's Huckmon. Look at top 5 and add a unidentified or an errata. And errata is super important to this deck. It's like one of the key cards. Which Caramon is this? EX1 Caramon, inherited for each other Digimon you have in play with the same name as this Digimon. This Digimon gets plus 1000. So again, I guess you combo this with this Sunamon. So then you can give 3000 to your tokens, and then they become 6000, which lets you get over Mechanoris. I think that's a very valuable strategy. And if that's what he was going for, and like he was expecting other Mechanoris to be in the meta, and I think it is. This is a card that people are playing and are teching a lot. Even like before people were on this Diaboromon train, people were picking Mechanoris because it's good against bonds and like other random matchups just as a decent blocker. Then being able to boost your tokens to 6000 has huge value and prevents you from being walled. So keep that in mind if you are building your decks for our nationals next week, I believe. This is Kurisarimon from BT2. Gain 1 memory if you play another Digimon that has the same name. That makes sense. This is BT5 Kurisarimon that gives everything rush. So all your tokens gain rush. I think that's good for like a final turn push. Only 2 of this one. And 3 of the promo Kurisarimon, which gives everything decoy and blockers. So he's really splitting his inheritables here. Like I said, Diaboromon is like a toolbox deck. You can pretty much do whatever you want with it. So I think it's interesting that he took this approach to it and kind of just threw in a little bit of everything instead of, I don't know, like hard indexing into like more of this one or more of this one. It makes sense. Level 5s, just Infamons. This is the EX1 Infamon, which is when your opponent digivolves into level 5 or higher, gain 1 memory. Inheritable, your other Digimon with the same name as this Digimon gain plus 2000. So again, really indexing into the plus 2000, the plus DP effects inheritables. I think that's a very strong idea, and clearly it worked for him since he came out like the highest Diaboromon, 3rd place on this list, this top 16 list. This is the BT5 Infamon that lets you warp, and inheritable is play a token on deletion. So if your Diaboromon dies, you can replace it with the token. Okay, fair enough. I think the warp probably doesn't come up too much either, but it's there as an option. And finally, the BT2 Infamon, which lets you digivolve into Diaboromon for 1 less memory. I think that's actually pretty good. He's only playing 8 level 5s. So if I was building this deck, I would probably index more into this one. Like, this card seems pretty good, but I can see how he needed room for something else. So we're only seeing 6 Diaboromons as well. He split them 2-2-2. So this is the security attack +1 for each of your Diaboromon promo card. This is the Diaboromon from BT5, which lets you play a token when you digivolve, and it's only 3 to digivolve. Actually, they're all 3 to digivolve, aren't they? All right, interesting. Fair enough. And then this one is okay. He's playing 4 of this one, the new EX1 Diaboromon. This is definitely the best Diaboromon. I think everyone plays 4 of this one. So when it's checked in security, you can play a token, and then the opponent's turn effect, all your Diaboromon gain blocker, and this of course applies to the tokens. So essentially, you can make a ginormous board with all your tokens, and they all have blocker. And then if you have this Kurisarimon, the promo one, they also all have decoy. So if they try to board wipe you with, let's say, BT1 Omnimon, if you have this Kurisarimon in your inheritables, they actually only wipe half your board, since each decoy can prevent the destruction of one of your other Digimon. So then you lose half your board like that. So token to block 1, and they're token to block 1, and they're token to block 1, etc. So you're pretty much, half your board is immune to board wipes, and you are super immune to just regular Digimon attacks, since you have like a million blockers out with all your tokens. So I think that's a very powerful combo if you can resolve it onto your board. 2 Armageddonmon. This in this deck, this is pretty much Bushi for game, since you can play it for 3, and then it has Rush. It's a 15,000 Rush for 3 memory. Pretty insane. And also the All Turns effect, level 7 Digimon do not activate their when Digivolving effects, I think is actually like sleeper. This is like sleeper good. So obviously it'll prevent any rogue random BT1 Omnis. It'll stop Alter S. It'll stop Zwart. It'll stop Zwart Defeat from destroying your erratas. What else? Chaosmon. We are not really seeing too many Chaosmons right now though, but I think Omnimon Blitz, when Digivolving restand itself, denies that. I think Armageddonmon has a lot of value right now, actually, surprisingly. Especially in this deck, because it has the bonus of being able to rush for game by just destroying one of your tokens. Seems pretty good to me. This person played 2, I think that's probably right. 2 Flares, 1 Gewalt, and 1 Iron Fist. So as far as black removal spells, obviously this is like the trio of black removal, like everyone plays these. The question becomes like, which one do you play more of? I think Ultimate Flare is a card that loses value as you go up into higher tables, because it's very easy to play around this if you like see it coming, and it's of these removals, it's like the one that can like whiff the hardest, because at least Iron Fist is going to kill one thing no matter what. It might not be the thing that you want to kill, but it's going to kill one thing. And you have the potential of really high rolling an Iron Fist and like really play into it, and like you wipe 2 or 3 things. And then Gewalt, I think, is mandatory in this deck because it's going to be your only out to Mecha Nori. Delete all Digimon with play cost 7 or lower, and your tokens are high play cost. I believe they are... let's see here. Memory cost of 14. Yeah, so 14 play cost. So Gewalt lets you pretty much wipe your board while keeping all your tokens and all your Diaboromons. So very strong card. And I think if I was playing this deck, me personally, I would probably index more into Gewalt over Flare. But you can make an argument either way for either of these, for like any of these 3 cards. And 4 errata is standard. You have to play 4 in this deck. Like, you have to see this card. It's mandatory. Alright, so before we move on, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. So 3-minute break, 1 second to everyone watching. Digiburst, thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Yeah, prepping for Oceanic Nationals next week. So hell yeah, dude. Hope you learned something from the stream. Alright, be right back. starting back up. Okay, so let's move on to 4th place. This is another Gabu. Alright. Trash. Import. Paste. Okay. So this guy is playing the BT2 Demi-Vmon instead of the starter deck one. So this one becomes active during your main phase, gets plus 1000. So if you restand during main, is there any card in here that does that? I guess just... Oh, this is Ancient. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so he's running this because he does Ancient, and Ancient restands itself, so you can give plus 1000 to Ancient to make it 14. I don't really see a big difference between 13 and 14, because you're still going to get clapped by a bond in security. And I guess you can get over some like random level 6s, but I don't think there's much of a difference. I think I'd rather be running the Demi-V from the starter, because at least that can give one of your other things plus 1000 as well. 4 chunky Gabus, 2 EX1 Gabus, 2 promo Gabus, 2 Drabus, for a total of 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, only 10 Gabumons. I think that's pretty low. He made it work somehow, I guess. He is playing the 3 Strabbies with the Lobos, so he's playing the 8 Lobos, 4 regulars, and 4 Warp, 2 Kendos, 2 Madokis, 4 Ancient, 4 Friendship. Again, we see the Absolute Blast. This seems to be the removal of choice for these Bond decks so far, and honestly, I can dig it. I see the logic behind it. 4 Ice Wall, 3 Davis, 4 Matt. The 1 Sora and Joe, again, helps support the Absolute Blast removal and is a pretty good card in and of itself. You can source strip random stuff. And the 3 Analog Boys. No Hammer Sparks. No Hammer Sparks. The other guy was only playing 2 Sparks as well. I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah, okay, we'll move on. 5th, yet another Gabu. Yet another Gabu. Let's see what's different about this one. Alright. Level swords. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Gabus. Okay. This guy is choosing to play the starter deck one for plus 1000 DP. I think if I had to choose between that one and the promo Gabu, I would rather play this one. But taking out an EX Gabu. Interesting. 3 Madokis. That's 1 more than the usual 2. I think that's good. Madoki is very key card right now. 3 Lobos, 2 Kendos, 2 Octos. This guy's playing Quadramon. We don't see Quadramon too often in Bond decks. I think people are really like hit or miss on it in Bond of Friendship. I can see the logic behind it though. The problem is that it has low stats, just like Lobomon does, but at least Lobo can like hybrid Digivolve for game. Quadramon can't really do that. But if you hit it in security, it's always a nice draw 2, I guess. It's fine, I don't hate it. 4 Friendships, 2 Howling, 1 Rattlestar, and 2 Cocytus Breaths. Interesting. Again, cutting a Hammer Spark. So people seem to be cutting their Hammer Sparks in favor of removal in these Bond decks, at least the ones that are up here in the top 16. That's a trend I am noticing. Alright, we'll move on. Another Bond deck. What's different about you? Oh, okay, we see the Delicate Plan already. Okay. This is the Red Tech Gabu Bond. I will not call it by the other name. 4 Drabus, 4 Chunky Gabus, 4 EX1 Gabus, 2 Promo Gabus. So 4, 8, 12, this is 14 Gabu Men. And he's playing these instead of the Strabimons. As we know from my previous video, Strabimon probably would have been more correct, but this guy made it work. 2 Madokis, only 1 Lobo, and 3 Kendos. That's different. That's very different. Don't know how I feel about it. I think most people would go 3 Lobos, 1 Kendo. He made it work. 2 Octos, 1 Grizzlymon. I hate this. This should be Mechanorimon. If you're going to play 1 blocker in your deck, it should be Mechanorimon. This is... Wow, you can Digivolve for 2 and draw a card. Well, you know what? You can just hard slam Mechanori for 4, and it does way more. Way more. Yeah, this is not good. 4 Friendships, 3 Howlings, 3 Ice Walls, 2 Cocytus. Okay. Sure. I think most people are cutting the 3rd Howling for the 4th Ice Wall. 2 Plant, 2 Joust, 3 starter deck Taikamiya. This is the red package that most people are playing in this deck. So essentially the idea is that when you warp into Bond, you can Joust and plan him and then go for OTK. I get it. I get it. Is it consistent? I mean, this is the only Bond deck I believe in this list that is running the red cards. And this one does allow you to search any tamer, so you can really dig for these ties so that these red cards aren't like just too dead in your hand. It's fine. I don't hate it. I'll leave it at that. 3 Davis, 4 Matt, and the 1 Soren Joe we do see popping up. I think I actually like the idea of this card. I might test it out myself. The 1 Soren Joe seems key, especially when you combine it with Howling and then the Absolute Blast. I think that's a actually cool like little package that I see trending and I think is worth trying out. All right, moving on. 7. This is another Bond deck. All right. All right. What are you doing differently? Paste. We'll sort. Okay. 4 Drawboos, 4 Chunky Gabus, 3 EX1 Gabus, and 1 Promo Gabu. So 12 Gabumon. Took out an EX1 for a promo. Okay. 3 Strawbies. Okay. And 1 Madoki. So he basically took out 1 Madoki for the 3rd Strawbymon. Don't know how I feel about it. I think Madoki at 2 is like the bare minimum you should be running. This guy is playing the Mechanorimons. He chose to play 2. Let's see. 4 Lobos, 2 Garurus. I think that's good. 2 Octos, 3 Cordramons. So we see the Cordramons again. Okay. 4 Friendships. Ooh, what is going on here with the 1? Oh my god, okay. 1 Absolute Blast, 1 Howling Memory Boost, 1 Cocytus Breath, 1 Starter Deck, Matt Ishida. If an opponent's Digimon has no digital evolution sources, gain +1 memory at the start of your turn. Holy moly. Okay. Manic Ben, what's up? I think I already got to your deck, actually. Let's see. Where are you on this list? Yeah, number 2. Oh, yeah, you had the highest topping. Yeah, I thought your deck was good. Hell yeah, I really like the Soren Joe and Absolute Blast deck. I think I'm actually going to try that out myself today. I have a big tournament coming up tomorrow, so we'll see how that works. All right, back to this list. These one-ups are throwing me off. I don't know what to say about this card. I mean, I guess the idea would be that it's like a cheap tamer that could eventually like fuel your hybrids. But I think I'd rather run Sora and Joe. Like if I'm gonna run... Oh, he took out a Davis for it. Oh, I hate that. Okay, I don't know what this guy's doing. 3 Cordramons. Okay, this is a guy who is like godlike at drawing his cards, I guess. So we'll move on. Okay, that was 7th. Okay, this one is already in a .dev link, so that's convenient. Let's see if we can just open the deck builder straight away. Full cards. Alright. Okay, this is a Diaboromon deck. Cool. Again, the plus 2000 Tsunamons in favor of the draw 1 Tsunamons. I would never have guessed this. I would have thought the draw ones, but both the Diaboromon lists so far are running the plus 2000 guy. So that's an interesting note to make. 3 BT2 Caramons, draw 1 when you play a Digimon with the same name. Okay, the other guy was playing this one too. 2 Chumons, standard. 4 Searcher Caramons from BT5, that seems to be the standard. And 3 EX1 Caramons. You haven't played with the same, this Digimon gets plus 2000. Okay. I think this is pretty much what the other guy was running too. So this seems to be standard. 2 Mechanories. Actually, this looks like a very, very similar list. Oh yeah, this is almost the exact same list as the other guy, except let's see, what did he do differently? He added in a level 5, so the other guy was only playing 2 of these and 2 of these. So he added in a level 5, and he cut... No, he didn't cut one of these Diaboromon, because he traded one of these Diaboromon for one of these Diaboromon. Which is interesting. I would assume that this is like a mandatory 4 of Diaboro. This is probably the best one. Cat. Okay. Stats. Oh, he cut a rookie. Okay, yeah, because the other guy was running 13, I believe. He cut a rookie for the 9th level 5, and then he swapped a EX1 Diaboromon for a BT5 Diaboromon. Okay. I think the logic is this one is more tempo, since it's when digivolving you get the token, and then like if you have erratas, then you can just like spam tokens when you play this one or digivolve this one. Whereas this one, you're kind of reliant on already having your erratas set up in order to get value from the tokens and having the extra blockers. So I can see the logic there. And, oh, this guy isn't running Iron Fist. Instead, he's running Catastrophe Cannon. So from what I've seen is that Catastrophe Cannon is good in the mirror because it lets you de-digivolve their blocker, their Diaboromon, which gives blocker, the EX1 one. And that way you can swing over their field of tokens. So temporarily you turn off their blockers and then you go for game. I think this is a pretty interesting tech choice. And if Diaboromon gets more popular, I think they start playing more of these to try to win in the mirror. I think Catastrophe Cannon and Gewalt Schwarmer are going to go up in value versus the mirror. Especially since Gewalt helps you get over this card. The washing machine boy. Who would win 20 Diaboromon tokens or 1 washing machine? The washing machine always. Alright, moving on. This one looks like a Commandramon deck. Commandermen. Let's see. Ooh. Okay. 3 Pagus, 2 Missimons. Interesting. I think most people play 4 Pagus and 1 Missimon. But he chose to play the extra Missimon for the plus 1000 DP. Okay. I don't see anything wrong with that. 16 Commandramons. 2 Hagurumon. This is basically D-Brigade Destiny draw. I mean, that's literally what this card is. It's D-Brigade Destiny draw. I think it's fine. Helps you fuel for your Dark Dramon play as well. So I think that's cool. 2 Dracomon. Helps you search any Dramon. I think that's good. 4 Seals Dramon. 2 Mechanories again. 2 Shademon. Okay. Okay, we're getting a little interesting here. So he's playing 6 Security Digimon. 2 Geograys, 2 Corjas, 2 Shademons. I'm not a big fan of Shademon, but it is what it is, I guess. I can understand. I think I would rather it be just like a 3rd Corja and a 3rd Geogray, but who am I to judge? Well, I am judging, so I judge you, and I think that this should be the 3rd Corja and the 3rd Geogray. Ogremon. Okay, I get it. Trash 1 card in your hand to delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. This is basically just like an on-play removal. Sure. 4 Dark Dramons, okay. 1 Millennium, 1 Alteress, 1 Zwart. No Zwart Defeat. Interesting. I think most people choose to play Zwart Defeat because it's another security card, and you can do the Darkjamon to Zwart Defeat play, and that has a lot of good tempo and value against Bond decks. Although, to be fair, Alteress also has good value against Bond decks because it can basically wipe their board. 3 Flares, 2 Onslaught, 2 Izzy, 2 Izzy and Joe. Nothing really stands out to me there. That seems pretty fair. Fair and standard. Yeah, the only thing that really stands out to me in this list is the Shademon. I think this could be other cards, but I get it. Alright. 10, what is this? Looks like a security control list. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Haven't seen one of these yet, so curious as to what it is. We'll level sort this. 4 Upas, 4 Salas, standard. 4 Geograys, 3 Cordras. Okay. I see people cutting Geogray entirely and only running 4 Cordras, so that's interesting so far. I like Geogray though. I think it's fine. 4 Magna is standard. Oh, what is that doing in there? Okay, we'll come around to it. 2 Sekuyas, okay. 4 Zwarts, 2 Flares, 3 Gewalts. 3 Gewalts, okay. 2 Iron Fist, 1 Happy Bullet. Okay, I guess that explains the BL stars. Okay, sure. An all delete. Okay, alright. I'll allow it. I think it's funny. 1 Holy Wave, 2 Retreat. Alright, 4 Reinforce, 4 Breath, 2 Izzy and Joe. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. This is kind of... You know what? I'm not mad about it. I get the BL star into Zwart, and then Gewalt has a lot of value right now, so you can play Gewalts for free, essentially. Well, not for free, for whatever your BL star is costing. So what's the most you can reduce it by in this deck? For 5, assuming you have all of them in your trash, so the lowest you could play BL star for is 7? I mean, you're playing security control, and you're paying 7 for Magna Angemons anyways, so it's not an unusual amount. Okay, that's fine. This card's funny. Alright, moving on. 11, okay. Okay. Did it load? Yes. Okay. It's a Gabumon deck. Okay, so we see 4 Drabus, 4 Chunkies, 3 EX1s. So 11 Gabus, okay. 11, 12, 13. He's playing the on-play Gabus. Okay. This should be the 4th, and then cut 1 for, I don't know, a Strabi, but sure. Stats, yeah, 17 level 3. So he's playing 1 more level 3 than normal. Most of these have been playing 16. 2 Strabis, okay. 2 Modokis, okay. 4 Lobos, 3 Kendos, that's about right. 2 Octos, 1 Ukalku, that's pretty standard. 4 Bonds, 2 Howlings, 4 Ice for Spark. I think this is like the most, this is pretty much my list actually. This is almost exactly my list, except I cut one of these for one of these, and I cut the second one for, I think I'm playing a second Ikakumon. This is literally my list. It's a good list, guys. It's a good list. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I have to say about it is this one, because I don't like it, but I can see why other people do, so fine. Moving on. That's a very standard Bond list. What are you? Another Bond. Oh, this guy's playing Magnadramons. All right. 4 Gabus, 4. He's running 12 of the good Gabus. Okay. 2 Strawbies. No Madokis. I think that's a mistake. 4 Lobos, 2 Kendos, 4 Quadras. So no Octo and no Ikaku. I'm just gonna shake my head. 2 Magnadramons. This is a card that I have a love-hate relationship in these Bond decks because it can save you, and there are times where you're like really glad you have it, especially in like grindier matchups. So if you have this card against security control, you feel really good about it. But against like every other deck, it's almost like either you're playing it as like your dying breath or it's just sitting in your hand. Especially in like, at least in Agubond, like you can potentially like stack a Gaia Force or an Atomic Blaster to the top, and then you can kind of live more that way. But in this, like, what are you gonna do? Hit an Ice Wall in security? Hit a Rattlestar in security? Like, it doesn't feel as good. 4 Friendships, 2 Howlings, 2 Rattlestar, 4 Ice Wall, 3 Sparks, 3 Boosts. Again, the Sora and Joe. But he cut a Davis. He cut a Davis for the Sora and Joe. Don't know how I feel about that. And I don't like these blue memory boosts either. I think these should be analog boys if you're running them at all. Or quite frankly, it should be the 4th Spark. But for some reason, we've been seeing people cutting Sparks in like all of these lists. So take that as you will. All right, next. Next. What is this? Another Bond. Okay. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 Gabumons. Okay, by cutting a Drabu, sure. And then, oh no, it's 12 Gabumons. He cut a Drabu for a promo. Whatever. 2 Strawberries, 2 Madokis, standard. He's playing the Mechanores, okay. 4 Lobos, 2 Kendos. Again, we see the 4 Quadramons. Sure. Oh, this is the one-of guy again. Wait, is this the same list? Is that the same list? No, it's 2 different guys running the same list. Okay, interesting. I don't get this card. Maddie Shida from the starter deck. Why? Okay, moving on. Please don't be another Gabumon deck. Drumroll, please. Okay. Oh, it's a Diaboromon deck. Okay. Let's see. Full cards. Alright, so we see this person running 2 of the draw ones instead of only 1. Alright. 4 Caramon, draw 1 when you play another of the same name. 4 Searchers, 2 Chumons, 3 EX1. This seems to be pretty much like the standard level 3 ratio so far. No one's really like gone too far away from this. 3 Cursaris, 2 Mechanores. This is literally the exact same level 4 lineup, okay? Except, I think the other people were playing 3 of this one and 2 of this one. Caramon's 3/3/3. I get it. Okay, not mad about it. 4 EX1 Diaboros, and then 2 of the promo and BT5 Diaboros. Sure. Only 1 Armageddonmon? Okay. Fair. I think I like 2. I think there are matchups where you do want to see this card, and the rush for game opportunity is like really enticing. So I like the idea of 2. Zubagon Punch. I like this card. This is the first time we've seen it in the Diaboromon deck, though. Okay, so this one, it gives you plus 3,000, and then after gaining the 3,000, if your Digimon is at 16,000, you get blocker, reboot, and security attack +1 until the end of your opponent's next turn. And it only costs 2 to play. So how do you get to 13? So if you have to be at 16, then you have to be at 13 before you gain the 3. So how do you get to 13 in this deck? So we have this one to give you +2000 if you have another Diaboromon. And then we have this one from EX1, which gives you +1000. So already, if you have this one in your inheritables, you're at 13 with any Diaboromon. And then we have this one, which gives you +2000. So pretty much any combination of this Sunamon, Karamon, and Inframon, if you have at least 2 of them as your inheritables, then you're going to be able to Zubagon Punch. And I think that does justify playing just the 1 punch. So I like this card. 2 Flare, 1 Gewalt, 1 Onslaught. So 2 Flare has been pretty constant. All 3 Diaboromon lists have run 2 Flare, and then 1 of each of 2 other removals. So 1 Gewalt, 1 Iron Fist. The third place guy was also 1 Gewalt, 1 Iron Fist, and then the other Diaboro was 1 Gewalt, 1 Catastrophe Cannon. I think we see more Gewalts as this deck becomes more popular, because it's the only out to this card that this deck has, like, consistent out. Because think about it, what do they do to a hard played Mechanorimon? Okay, if they have anything that's higher than play cost 4 on their board, you can't Iron Fist it. All right, you can't Flare it because it doesn't have any sources underneath it, and it's play cost 4, so it doesn't die to like the AoE wipe. You have to Gewalt it. It's the only way. So it's literally your only out. Or you boost your tokens to 6,000 with these, which I think is why we're seeing more of this Sunamon over this Sunamon. It makes sense. It makes sense. All right, moving on. What is this? Oh, this is 3 Musketeers. Okay. This will be fun. Import. Level sort. Okay. It's a 3 muskets, right? Yeah. Alright, so 4 Impmon, 2 Gazimon, 3 Labramon, 4 of the new Impmon that lets you get back Beelstarmon. Of note to me, right off the bat, no Soundbirdmon. I know a lot of lists run that card to help you get your options in the trash. So that's interesting. 2 Mechanories, okay. 4 Deputymons, yeah. 2 Vials, 1 Promote. 1 each of the... This is interesting. I don't get these. I guess in theory, you Digivolve over your Deputymon, and then you can go into Gundramon or Magnakidmon and give them a buff, but that's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Only 2 Beelstars, okay. I mean, I guess since this deck like mills a lot and you can just add it back with this Impmon. Okay. 2 Magna Kids. Isn't this the worst one? Use an option card with the memory cost of 7 in your hand without paying its memory cost. So this one's in your hand. And this one you mill 5 and then play one that you milled, right? Yeah. And it has blocker, but this one has security +1. Okay. I'm not going to pretend to understand that. 1 Millennium, 1 Alter S. 2's Work Defeat. Alter S can go over Gundra or Magnakid. Okay. 2 Gewalts, 3 Trump Swords, 4 Fly Bullets, 2 Nail Bones, 2 Happy Bullets, 1 Mat. I don't know if this is good or not. These are throwing me off. Like, I don't get the point of them. Like, you're gonna Digivolve them over your Deputymon? Or, I guess, a Mechanori? Like, okay. I'm pretty sure Mechanori has way higher value than either of these 2 cards, just, like, by being on your board. And this one... Deputymon never lives. Like, if you play Deputymon and your opponent has any way to get over it at all in their hand, they're gonna drop it because the warp into Gundramon is actually annoying. So, and this is so easy to kill. It dies to everything. In every deck. Every deck has a way to just get rid of the hard played Diaboromon. So, when is it ever gonna live for you to digivolve into these? Or I guess you can hard play these for 6 and then go into Gundramon. I don't know. Or I don't know. We're just gonna move on. This is the last list. What is it? Oh, it looks like a Machinedramon deck. Hold up. Wait a minute. It is a Machinedramon deck. Okay. Interesting. 16th place Machinedramon. Squeezed in. Alright. 3 Chumons, 4 Chikurumons, 4 Hagurumons. Okay. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 level 3s. That sounds right. 2 Mechanories. Okay, this is... Everyone playing Mechanori is playing 2 Mechanories. So 2 Mechanori is the number, and I agree. I think playing 2 of this card in your deck is... Yeah. Yes. 4 of the new Gundramon from EX1, which inherited, is Destiny Draw. So basically this is this effect, but as an inherited. Yeah. Trash 1, draw 2. Machine or Cyborg. Yep. And it has blocker, but it can attack. So it's like the other Gundramon. That's whatever. 3 Dark Tyrannos, 1 Gigadramon, 1 Volcanomon, 2 Andromon, 2 Metal Tyrannomon, 1 Metal Mamamon, 2 Megadramon, 1... Okay, so how many level 5s is this? 1, 2... what am I counting? 13 level 5s. Okay, makes sense, since this is basically just like level 5 dot deck. The choices are interesting. So this Andromon gives blocker, and this Megadramon also gives blocker. But what's the difference? Type Cyborg. Cyborg virus. And this is a vaccine cyborg, so they're both cyborgs. But this one gives blocker to... I guess if you go into Zwart, the Zwart would keep blocker, whereas the Machinedramon or the Andromon wouldn't allow that to happen. So I don't know why you don't just play 4 of this one. Oh, it's because of the 1 Digivolving effect. Okay. Top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 level 6 Digimon with machine type in. Okay. Sure. So then you just split the difference. Okay, I get it. Metal Tyrannomon, this one gives reboot if you're a machine. Okay. And has the same search top 3 when digivolving. Okay. Metal Mamamon gives when attacking delete level play cost 5 or less. Okay. This one gives plus 2000 DP on your turn. This one gives plus 2000 DP on your opponent's turn. Security attack plus 1. This one also gives security attack plus 1. You don't play 4 of any level 5 in that deck because machine needs 5 different names. Oh, right, because of the names. Got it. Okay. Thanks, Bryce. On play. Oh yeah, this is the one that's on play. It's just red Mistimon. Security plus 1. Okay. Okay, and different names. So okay, got it. And middle grade. This one gives piercing. Only 1 of the piercer. I guess you only need to see the 1. Okay. 1 Gundramon. For Machinedramons. 1 Zwart. Sure. 1 Gewalt. 4 Ultimate Connection. This is again like Hammer Spark, kind of. Trash 1 of your level 5 Digimon with Cyborg in its type to gain 2 memory and draw 1. Yep. Iron Fist. 2 ties. 3 analogs. Analog because it can mill. Okay. I mean, as far as Machinedramon decks go, from what I understand them to be, this seems like a fair list. Nothing really stands out to me as being like, what the fuck are they doing? Alright, cool. That was the last list. So we saw 1 Machinedramon, 1 3 Musketeers, 1 Security Control, 3 or 4 Diaboros, 1 Justimon, and every other deck was Bond of Friendship. What do I have to say about that? Honestly, I think Mechanorimon is like the key, like the star card of the format right now. I think everyone's playing it. We saw a lot of Mechanorimons. It's good against almost every matchup, and like it's just really splashable. Like if you're running a blocker, if you have room for a blocker, like don't be... How many Ancient Bonds? I think there was two. Two Ancient Bonds. Two Ancient Bonds and one bond with Delicate Plan. Yeah. Or I think there was two bonds with Delicate Plan, but they were running the same list. Let's see. I don't remember. Control find Delicate Plan. Yeah, there was two lists, and they were both the same exact list. So 6th place and... Oh no, just kidding. It was only one list. It was looking up the Justimon deck too. Yeah. Ancient Garu. One ancient deck. I think there was another one too, but it was one of these. I don't remember. Play Mecha. Yeah. Play Mecha in your deck. Card's freaking fat. What else did I notice? Oh, the Absolute Blast tech in Bond of Friendship seems really good to me, especially with the one Sora and Joe and like the 2 Howling Memory boosts. I think that's a really good combination of cards. So this guy's list, Manic Ben, I really like your list. I'm gonna net deck you today. Yeah, like, okay, I would take out these. I don't even have them, so I couldn't play them if I wanted to. But yeah, I would take out one of these, play the 4th Drabu and the 2nd Strabi, and then the rest of the list. I really like this Absolute Blast, Howling Memory Boost, Sora and Joe. I get it. All right, cool. I think I'm gonna end the stream there. There were 18 maximum viewers. Thank you everyone for watching for my first live stream. This is like really impromptu, so I'm sorry if you guys couldn't really hear me or if it was like kind of weird, but I'll be doing more of these probably anytime like something like this drops. I think we have another nationals coming up next weekend, and I think maybe the weekend after that. I don't know. There's a few national tournaments coming up, so we'll be live reacting to all the top lists, seeing what the trends are, and then maybe like afterwards I'll do like a whole like recap video of like what all the trends are, like most popular cards, most popular decks, what stood out, like what was the strongest rogue deck, etc. So cool, guys. I'm gonna go get ready for some playtesting, and then maybe grab some gameplay videos while I'm there. All right, later, skaters.